right, so ladies and gentlemen, let me show you how math is going to work. So there are 3 papers every single day that you are going to be picking up. Okay, so there's 3 papers every day that you're going to be picking up. Notice how on Schoology, I don't really have like the normal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 agenda anymore, because school in algebra is going to look a little different now. Okay, so you always do the video notes at home. Basically, you always watch the video, you do the learning so that when you're in class, you have all class period to practice. If you didn't understand the video, that's when you can ask the people sitting around you. You can ask me for help, all that stuff. Now, when we're doing this in class, because all you're doing is practice problems in class now, okay, you can't get up and you can't ask a friend who's sitting across the room because we still need to somehow maintain a little bit of distance from each other. But if there's like a little circle around you, so like look at the people around you that you can ask and you can help each other. And if there's no one around you that you like, that's okay. You can ask me, okay? For the people that are on the Google Hangout, you are more than welcome to leave after the synchronous time. You're not required to stay, but I don't know if you're gonna have time or questions during the asynchronous where you do have questions. So if you do have questions, you might wanna stay or come back or something like that, okay? So every day now, we are going to, for the synchronous time, I'm gonna start the starter with you. The starter is basically a warm-up. The starter is right here for you online kids, and I'm sorry that you don't have the paper in front of you, but you can do it on Kami or you can do it on a sheet of paper if you have a printer at home. Okay, the starter is this half sheet of paper. It's only a couple questions. It's a warm up. I'm doing it with you. I'm basically reteaching you the lesson in 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean you don't watch the lesson. You have to watch the lesson still because there are lots of details that I don't go over in the starter. I go over like the main gist of it, the main points. Okay. That's during the synchronous time. Then the asynchronous time is when you, by yourself, you do the level work. Okay, so here's the level work right here. And it says submit here. Do you guys see how it says submit here? So you do have to submit everything every day. There's a lot to submit every day now. Okay, and I'll talk about deadlines in a minute. So the level work you have to submit once you're done with it. So you submit it basically by tomorrow before class starts, by tomorrow before second period starts. Okay. So that's what we're doing in class. This is you practicing it. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to have all the answers on the board to the level work every day. So I don't know the best way to do this. Maybe I have to upload it. I don't even know. I really don't want to upload it, but maybe we can go something like this. And then, it's going to be too small. I don't think you guys can see it if I have both sides on there. That's way too small, isn't it? You guys can't see that. I'm going to have to find a way. Maybe I don't know. I'll have to think of a way. But basically, this is your classwork, and these are all the answers. Why am I giving you all the answers if I'm asking you to do something? I'm giving you the answers, but notice how I don't show any of my work, okay? So when you submit this, yes, you know if you're getting something right or wrong, but you do need to show your work to get credit. It's either 100 or it's a 0, right? Did you do it all? Did you show your work? Or did you not show any work and only copy the answers? I don't know, right? So that's why even though I give you the answers are here for you to see so you know if you're doing it right. Because obviously, if you're doing it wrong, that means you're not understanding something, okay? That's why I want to make sure that you have the answers available so that you can double check with me in class before we move on the next day. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing in class independently, or you can do it with the people sitting around you, but you can't get up off of your desk, okay? Finally, on the agenda, it says homework. So what is your homework today? You're going to finish and submit the level work. So you can easily finish the level work, the classwork in class, but some of you really, really chatty people, I worry that you're going to spend all period talking and not getting any work done. So if you don't finish it, then it's double homework, which sucks. So just get it done in class. You can talk in class, that's fine. You just can't only talk and not work, okay? Talk and work, multitask, okay? And so you have to submit that and you have to watch and submit your video notes. And remember your video notes, I didn't show you the link, but you can go on YouTube. The channel is Hudson Bend Algebra. Search for chapter 3, and then it's under 3.5. Okay? So for you online kids, here are all the things that the kids have in front of you, and then your deadlines. So your due dates. I know that normally I said you guys have 2 days, but that was when Edgenuity, we were doing Edgenuity, and sometimes it would kick you off and it was weird and blah, 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 blah. Well, we're not doing Edgenuity anymore. You basically have a paper in front of you, or you have a YouTube video, which YouTube normally is just the internet, right? YouTube normally doesn't glitch. In all my 7 years of doing these YouTube videos, it's never glitched on me before. And if it glitches on you, it should be glitching on everyone. So I should be hearing a lot of kids tell me that YouTube is not working. Okay, so your deadline is just before second period starts the next day. So you have to take a picture and submit your level work by tomorrow before second period, so 9:45. Okay, you have to take a picture of your video notes and submit here before tomorrow, 9:45. I know this is really new, but we're going to work through it step by step, and every day will be the same. Every day we start with a warm up and I reteach it to you. Every day after that, you have the level work and I'll give you the answers and you just double check it. So you know you can ask me for questions if you have any. And then every day you have video notes for homework. Every single day it looks like that. Okay, it'll be the same thing over and over and over. Rowan?
On that note of if YouTube does it, what if, say, someone gets a power outage and can't access the internet, or the internet breaks down?
Yeah, so you have those specific situations, and that's okay. And that's when I just want you to tell me or your parents to email me, and then we'll make allowances. Of course, it's not like it has to be turned in. I mean, if you have those rare emergencies, then yeah, just let me know. Okay. Okay, Tyler asked, is this how it's going to be from now on? And the answer is yes. Okay, so this is how it's going to look from now on. So all these papers, because you're submitting them online, what you should do is you should probably just keep them in your folder. Okay, so what I normally ask is if you have a binder, maybe separate it into 2 sections. One section is just video notes, and the other section is just level work and starters. Okay, or if you have a folder, the left side is video notes, the right side is level work and starters, something like that. Okay. Any other questions that you can think of right now? Yes, Vaughn. No. So Vaughn asked, on the level work or on anything, do you have to show your work on a separate sheet of paper? And my answer is no. I normally give you enough space to show your work, but if you write huge, then you might need to just staple a separate sheet of paper onto it. And so if you do end up using a separate sheet of paper, which you don't need to, just make sure you take a picture of that so I can see all your work. Because really, guys, all I'm doing when I'm looking at your submissions is I'm looking at, did you show your work? Because I'm giving you all the answers, right? So really it's just, did you show your work? One final thing. So how am I taking grades? All of your daily grades are really just going to be completion grades from now on. Okay, your completion grades is so what I normally do is I take 2 daily grades per week. So I'll say, okay, today I'm going to take grades. So I'm going to go on Schoology and I'm going to look at your submissions. Did you submit it before 9:45 this morning? Yes, then it's 100 and if you showed your work. No, then it's a 0. Okay, just like how it would be in normal school. And it's going to be random. Maybe this week I'll take a daily grade on Monday and Wednesday, for your video notes and for your level work. And then maybe next week it'll be like Tuesday and Friday for your video notes and level work. I don't know, whatever. Okay. Tyler, does this count? And this doesn't count for yesterday. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that.
I haven't done yesterday's yet.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what did you say?
I haven't done yesterday's yet. I haven't fully completed it, so I was just worried that it would be late.
Okay, so no, I'm not counting yesterday's yet because it's brand new. I'm just telling you now, so it wouldn't be exactly fair. So that brings me to the next point. This is the most important thing, okay? Please don't do the level work if you haven't done the video notes, if you haven't finished it. I won't really know that you haven't done the video notes because I'm not checking right then and there, but you really have to be honest, okay? I know that I reteach the entire lesson through the starter, but guys, You can't get all the information by like a 5-minute reteach. You really need like the 15 minutes or the 20 minutes that the video gives you. So if you didn't finish the video notes on any given day, not just today, what you need to do is you need to tell me, and then after we go over the starter, pick up your computer, pick up your paper, and then go outside in the hall and finish your video notes first. Okay? You have to do your video notes first. And this is kind of just an honesty thing. If you lie about it and never finish your video notes, then I'm never going to know, but you're missing out on like half of the content for algebra. Okay? So think about the tests and quizzes that we still have coming up. Think about the STAR test, right? You might be able to skate by with it now, but I'm really worried that you're going to miss out on half the information if you continually not do the videos. Okay? The videos yesterday was what, like 20 minutes? That's a little bit on the long side. Normally your videos are like 15 to 17 minutes long. Okay, they're not that bad. If you think of it as your homework, it's really not that bad. 15 to 17 minutes of just doing homework for math. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Luke.
Are we doing a 3.6 tomorrow?
So yes, tomorrow's homework will be 3.6 video notes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna have to find a way to maybe upload all the answers on Schoology for your level work, but I can't do that just right now anyway, just because I need a copy machine and that's upstairs. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. Okay, but let's get started. So all of us, even if you're done with the starter, all of us, let's do the starter together. So if you're done with the starter, can you just push everything to the side? I really want to make sure that you understand what we're doing, because this is me reteaching the entire lesson. Okay, I'm hoping you understand it, but some of you don't, or you're kind of shaky on it. So I want to make sure that you truly understand. Okay, so guys, if you're online, this is the document on Schoology that says starter. You can just open it up and follow along. Okay, you're not going to turn this in, you're not going to submit it. So if you're online and you don't have a printer, honestly, maybe it'd be a good thing for you to just follow along and watch instead of trying to catch up on Kami. And then if you truly don't understand it, you can always refer back to our 20-minute video on Schoology. Okay? All right, so starter. Let's graph this equation. So remember, when I have y or x and then just a number, this is how I think to myself, okay? So y equals 3. Go to the y-axis, which is right here. I go 1, 2, 3, bless you. So here's y equals 3. So do you think that this y equals 3, is it a vertical line or is it a horizontal line? Horizontal. So I know that doesn't really make sense because you're like, y is always vertical, right? Y goes up and down. Well, when you graph it, it doesn't. And the reason why is because if I were to make vertical lines on the y-axis, then any number would always be on the y-axis. Let me show you how to do it on your computer, or not your computer, your calculator. Just go to y equals, you go to 3, and then you hit graph, and then you see a picture. Okay, here's a trick. If you have an x equals, like you see how there's no x equals on your calculator? I'm going to show you this later, but you're probably not going to remember, but there is a way that you can graph x equals. There's a button called apps. It's the purple writing button. And then you have to go to number 7, which says inequals, and then press enter. And then you see how now in that corner it says x equals. So if you arrow up and highlight x equals, now do you see how there's all the x equals? So I just arrow up on my calculator. And let's say I want like x equals 10. Oh no, maybe not 10 because you can't see that on your calculator. Maybe 8. Okay, then I can hit graph. And now look, here's x equals 8. Okay, you probably won't remember how to do that. Press those buttons, but you will later because I'll teach you how to press it for a different lesson. But just know you can normally double check with your calculator. Okay, number 2, find the x and y intercept of this equation. So first of all, the x-intercept is when what equals 0? Y equals 0. It's always the opposite letter. So for the x-intercept, this is me showing my work because I still have to show my work. Okay, I'm going to take my equation, and it's the definition of the x-intercept means that y equals 0. I'm putting in a 0 there. So it basically disappears, right? Because it's just minus 0, so it disappears. So I really have 3x equals 6. Well, now let's solve. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Oh, sorry, 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3. I get x equals 2. So my x-intercept is 2, or I can say it's 2, 0. Either answer works. So you still have to show your work. Even if you can do this in your head, because I'm telling you all the answers on the board later, I don't want to think that you're just copying it. Okay, so you do have to show your work, even if it's too easy. Show your work. All right, the y-intercept is when what equals 0? When x equals 0. So what I'm going to do for the y-intercept is I'm going to take my equation again, and I'm going to plug in 0 for x, because that's the definition. Plug in 0 for x. So 3 times 0 minus y equals 6. Well, 3 times 0 is just 0, so that disappears. Right? Do you see how I just have negative y equals 6? So I can just divide both sides by negative 1, and I get y equals negative 6. So final answer is negative 6, or I can say 0, comma, negative 6. So notice how I'm kind of reteaching this to you by explaining how I'm doing the problem. But again, it's not as good as you watching the video and you actually trying to understand it and listen, because you have more examples. Okay? All right. Number 3, find the 0 of the function. All right. The 0 of the function. So basically, it's just asking you what? I have to plug in 0, but do I plug in 0 for the f of x or just this x right here? F of x. Okay, so finding the 0 of the function means to plug in 0 for y. Wait, I don't have a y. But remember, y is the same thing as saying f of x. So for f of x, it's saying 0 equals 5x minus 35. So to find the 0 of the function, you're plugging in 0 for your f of x, which is the same thing as saying your y. Okay, so let's solve for x. What's the first thing I have to do? Add 35 to both sides. So I have 35 equals 5x. Now what do I do? Divide by 5. So my final answer is 7. So x equals 7. Or I can say it's 7, comma 0. So either answer works. X equals 7 or 7, comma 0. And I know that it's 7, comma 0 because x is 7, right? The x digit is 7. Okay. Finally, is there a backside? No. Okay. So finally, number 4. The function blank represents the grams of cereal left in a box after X servings are eaten. Find the 0 of the function and explain what the 0 means in this situation. So here's my equation saying find the 0. So if I want to find the 0, I'm plugging in 0 for what? F of x. So to find the 0, I always plug in 0 as my f of x or the answer, the y. So 0 equals 448 minus 28x. So first thing I do, maybe minus 448 on both sides. So I get negative 448 equals negative 28x. Then I divide both sides by negative 28. Did anyone do that yet? Negative 448 divided by negative 28?
Yeah, 16.
It's 16. Okay, so I have x equals 16. So that's my 0. My 0 is x equals 16, which is the same thing as saying 0, comma 16 or 16, comma 0? 16, comma 0. Because remember, whenever I have a point, it's always the x and then the y. So if x is 16, then it's the first number. So either one is okay. Either answer is fine. Okay, but then it says, explain what the 0 means in this situation. So they're saying I have 0 here and I have 16 here. Like, so what does that mean? So the x is the servings and then the yeah, that's all it says. Yes, Rowan, what do you think?
It means 16 servings of cereal will empty the box.
Okay, so we're talking about the amount of cereal left in a box. So if you're 0, your answer is 0. That means you have 0 cereal left in the box. Well, then what does the X stand for? 16, X servings. So after 16 servings, you have 0 cereal, 0 grams of cereal left in the box. Good job. So I could say after 16 servings of cereal, the box is empty because it's at 0. Okay, so I would hold this starter and put it off to the side because maybe it can help you with questions on your level work if you don't remember or understand how to do it. At this time, guys, if you did not finish the video notes from yesterday, the most important thing is you have to go do that first. So just pick up your stuff, go tell me that you're leaving. So I know that I don't think you're just leaving, but tell me that you need to leave and then just finish your video first. So then for homework, you do have the level work and the video notes. You have double, but that's because you didn't finish yesterday's homework. Okay, if you really want to watch the video in here, if you have earbuds, that's fine. But you can go in the hall as well too, okay, if you want to. We're still working independently. Okay, so your answers, maybe what I'll do is this, okay? Because today I don't have like copies on Schoology, I have to make all the copies. Let me just kind of show the answers one by one, okay? So, maybe, what if I take it on my phone? Maybe if I take it on my phone, I could do this. Yes, Luke?
How do you show your work on the Dropbox?
You can't. So you can't. Okay, so there are some you can't show your work. But like this one, these, you can show work. For these, you can show work. Oh, sorry. For the 2 on the bottom, you can show work on the 2 on the bottom. For this one, you can show work on the back side. For these, you can show work. So yes, you can't show work on every single one, but for most of them, you can, okay? So let me put this on the board first. And then once I feel like people have passed number 7, then I will scoot down to the next problem. And then we'll go from there, okay? So online kids, if you want to stay online, just because you have questions later, you can, or you can leave and